Learn to love the unknown. Up until a few years ago, my entire life has been comprised of timelines. I grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, and at 15 years old, I had my entire life planned. This is basically what it was supposed to look like. I would graduate from college at 21 and I would move to New York City and work at Glamour magazine because that was my favorite magazine in the entire world. By age 30, I would become the editor-in-chief of Glamour, and then I would get married by about 35. I wanted to make sure that I didn't get married too early because I was going to have a career. Then, by age 40, I would start my own magazine, which was going to be called Existence. Sounds like the name of a magazine that a 15-year-old would come up with, doesn't it? The reality of that plan is that some of it came true and some of it not so much. I did move to New York City, but not until I was 25, which is the same age at which I got married. I did work at Glamour magazine, but not on the editorial side. I ended up working on the business or the sales side of the magazine. And I did become a senior manager at Glamour, but not until I was 32 years old. And you probably figured out that I never started that magazine called Existence. Now, despite not hitting many of those timelines that I envisioned, I still would venture to say that my life has turned out pretty well. But that obsession that I had with that timeline in my 20s and 30s definitely caused a lot of unnecessary angst. At 29, when I realized that my plan to become a manager at Glamour was not going to happen by the time I turned 30, I had a mental meltdown. Now, I'm not talking about the kind that needs therapy or drugs. I'm talking about a period of time where I was so incredibly down on myself for not hitting that plan that I literally almost gave up on the plan altogether. My self-talk just started to say, maybe I wasn't cut out for management. Maybe this just isn't meant to be. And my actions were of someone who was just totally annoyed with herself and frustrated all the time. So I was not the most fun person to be around at that particular time. Now, it kind of sounds ridiculous now in retrospect, but I was so emotionally tied to that plan that when it didn't happen, I had a really hard time dealing with it. And it wasn't until I was confiding in a mentor about my fears that I wasn't quote unquote management material that I got a really huge wake-up call, because basically my mentor said, and I quote, "Who cares about your stupid timeline? Timelines only exist to give you a roadmap to get you where you want to go." He said, "Enjoy where you are, believe you will get there, and learn to love the adventure." Kind of harsh words at the time. That whole idea of learn to love the adventure for someone who is a planner her whole life, that was a completely foreign idea. At 29, the adventure in my mind was really just hitting the timeline as I had determined it. That was the only adventure that I wanted. I didn't want anything else. But what I learned is that in order to hit my goals, I needed to stop gripping them so tightly, and I actually had to let them go and allow some flexibility in those goals. And by doing that, I would end up reaching them faster and more easily and have a lot more fun along the way. So if your plans have not transpired the way you had imagined them, just rewrite them. It's not that big of a deal. Stop being emotionally tied to a plan you set months or years ago when you could not foresee any of the detours or roadblocks or other types of adventures that might occur on your way to achieving it. Focus on the present moment and learn to love the adventure. Learn to love the unknown. We all believe it would be great to know what the future looks like, and I certainly have been in that camp myself. We think that it would somehow be easier if we just knew what to expect and what was going to happen when. But the reality is, it would really make life incredibly boring. Life, sales, business, it's just a huge adventure. And every single day, something unexpected comes up and it's all good. So in order to keep your faith in yourself and what you can accomplish, you need to love the unknown. get comfortable with the surprises of life, and actually look forward to them. And in the meantime, make sure you always laugh a lot and learn a lot. If you enjoyed this video, please comment and please subscribe to the channel.